So, your wife is disappointed with you. Does that mean that you're responsible? Not necessarily. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm Leslie Dories, creator of the Hero Husband Project and owner of Foundations Coaching. And disappointment is a really interesting concept. Basically, what it means to be disappointed is that somebody didn't get what they wanted. And so there are a couple of things about that. So if you don't have time to listen to this and you find yourself constantly trying to make your wife happy, trying to guess what she wants, always falling short, then I invite you to get in touch and schedule a discovery session with me. But for the rest of you who are interested in this topic, here's the deal. There are two parts to this, right? Was she clear about what it was that she wanted? That's part one. And part two is, did you agree? Because if she wasn't clear and or you didn't agree, then her disappointment is on her. So let me give you an example. My husband, now that life is opening up again, but before COVID, he would have business dinners. And sometimes he would bring me dessert because my husband doesn't actually eat dessert. And I don't usually either. Now, I don't ask him when he goes out to bring me dessert because I'm actually trying not to eat a whole lot of dessert too. But sometimes he'll bring it home. And when he doesn't, either because nobody ordered dessert or he didn't think about it, or he was at a restaurant where maybe, an Asian restaurant, maybe they didn't have a dessert that he would think I would like, he doesn't bring me one home. And there's a moment where I'm kind of disappointed. Now, I don't ask him, and he probably doesn't even know, although after today he might. But I wasn't clear about what it was because, like I said, I'm trying not to eat too much. So it's a nice little gesture. But there's still that moment when I'm disappointed. So now, if she was clear and you indeed agreed to it, and then you don't follow through, then you own some of the disappointment. But that's not what happens a lot of times. A lot of times it's a situation like with me and my husband, where your wife hasn't been clear about what it is she would like. Now, she might hint around about it. She might even do the what I call the mind reading school of marriage. That, well, if you loved her, you would just know. And I don't subscribe to that. And I seriously recommend that you don't subscribe to it either, right? But just because she's disappointed doesn't mean that one, you're responsible, or two, that you actually have to do something about it. Now, like I said, if she was clear and you agreed and you didn't follow through, then there's some reparations that you probably should be making. But other than that, if it's just an expectation that she had, or she did ask for it and you actually said, no, I'm not really on board with that. And by the way, that answer is probably going to lead to disappointment, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because she wants something that she's not going to get. Okay. And we are going to disappoint our partners. That's okay. Disappointment does not kill us. And but if you buy into the happy wife, happy life, and this idea that it's your responsibility to make her happy and she's never supposed to have any kind of less than positive feeling, you're going to feel like the hamster on the wheel who just keeps running and running and running and never gets anywhere. Okay. If you're saying no to her with the intent to make her feel bad, that's a conversation we need to have. But if you're living your life and she either asks for something that you're not willing or able to give her, or she's just assuming that you should know these things, like my husband and me and dessert, you're then there, that's right for disappointment. And like I said, disappointment is going to happen. You're not going to do everything that she wants. She's not going to do everything that you want. And that is not the problem. The problem is how the disappointment is handled. Okay. And you don't want to constantly feel like you have to perform all the time. Like if she has any kind of hard feeling, it's the end of the world. Oh, and that you're responsible for it. Because disappointment happens and we have a choice. She has a choice. Does she want to hold on to it? Or does she want to just go, okay, I didn't get what I want. Right. Now, I am a believer in saying yes to each other as often as you can, because those no's, those disappointments are like, they're like, they're like little withdrawals from your love bank, right? And you want a high bank balance. You want a high love bank balance. But just because you say no, or just because something happened and she ended up disappointed, it is not your fault. And so please do not take it on. If you would like to learn more about how to do this and about how to say no lovingly, or how to sit with her hard emotions without succumbing to the need to fix them, then I invite you to set up a free 20-minute discovery session with me. You can put a comment down below. You can direct message me, or you can send me an email at Lesli, Lesli, at foundationscoachingnc.com. And so, love to hear your comments about this. Love to know what you do when she's disappointed. Would love to know what you do when you're disappointed, when she disappoints you. So hopefully you found this helpful, and I will see you next week.